right. Notre Dame versus Wake Forest. Just sports betting alone says that Notre Dame's going to win. 47.5 is the over-under, and Notre Dame's a 24.5 point favorite going into this game. That's a 21.5 point favorite with a 3 point home field advantage. Can we do that? Well, let's talk about that just a little bit here. Best game against a tough opponent for Wake Forest was against Duke. Riley Leonard did not play that game for Duke. He was hurt in their game against Wake Forest. Wake kept that to a pretty close game. Ultimately ended up losing. I mean, their offense is just not terribly productive, right? Duke's got a pretty good defense. And Wake's defense has not been phenomenal this year either. Their best defensive player appears to be safety Malik Mustafa. When your safety is making the most tackles on your team, that shows that you've got some problems up front. So I think Notre Dame can capitalize on some of those issues that Wake Forest seems to have. Teams that have done well against this Wake Forest defense, they've done a really good job of baiting the safeties in, right? So running things like play action after the run, running some RPOs, some run pass options, and just really kind of like getting the safeties to come in and cover, and that's effective because they've got problems with their front seven, right? So if your front four and your or front three and your linebackers are having trouble with the running game, then the safeties have to come in and help cover. If the safeties are rushing in to help cover the run, that opens up the passing game, and you can go over the top pretty easily, right? All that being said, we have to execute on a plan like that. We have to go out and establish the run game, as I've said week in and week out, and that's something that Notre Dame has been really good at doing this year, is establishing the run game. What they haven't been so good at doing is running the play action or running the RPO, which is kind of crazy considering we have a quarterback who learned an RPO system and knew an RPO system at Wake Forest last year. That's their system. They know that. He knows that, right? So I don't understand why they can't get Sam Hartman in there a little bit. Running some RPOs and running some play action. That's an offense he already knows. It's not like he's learning something new. That's experience he already has. So let's do it. It doesn't take a whole lot to coach the rest of the team on a few plays like that. I'll tell you what, our defense, we should have no problems against this Wake Forest team. As long as we can keep from giving up points on offense and special teams, we should win this game soundly at home. That being said, Wake's defense is not as stout as Clemson's and Ohio State's and Louisville's, was. So just from a pure athletic talent perspective, right? They don't get as many 4-star caliber recruits at Wake Forest as they do at Clemson and Ohio State. They don't get any 5-star caliber recruits really to speak of at Wake Forest, right? So that's not something that we need to worry about. We don't have they're tremendous athletes, but that doesn't mean that they have the sheer God-given talent that some of these other players have at some of these bigger schools that we've lost to this year. I don't expect our offense to get better for the rest of the season, honestly, with Gerard Parker as the play caller. I really don't. Despite the rumors that the play caller may be changing, nothing that I've seen since that rumor was started or since that discussion was started has shown that any of that's actually going to happen, and that Parker's not going to be up in the press box calling the plays tomorrow. Unless I don't know, maybe Coach Freeman calls the plays and Parker sits up in the press box. I have no idea, right? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't think anything's going to change. I think Parker's going to be up there, calling the plays, and I don't think our play calling ability is going to improve in any way, shape, form, or fashion for this game. Don't be surprised if it doesn't. Actually, honestly, I'm going to be mildly shocked if it does. I hope that's not the case. Regardless, Estime is going to, he's going to get yards given the opportunity as long as we've got him out there on the field. He'll break open some pretty big runs. The running backs, all in all, should have a day. We need to get the passing game open. The way that we've been coaching this, getting the running game open doesn't get the passing game open because we're not running play action, right? We're lining up with 4 wide receivers and throwing the ball, and when it's that obvious, when it's like, oh hey, there's 4 wide receivers on the field, Notre Dame must be throwing the ball. That makes it pretty easy to defend. When you know what your opponent's going to do, it's not terribly hard to defend it. So, hopefully it will change things up. Again, I'm not optimistic. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if it happens, it's going to happen after the end of the season. If we go in and we win a bowl game, honestly, I think going in and winning a bowl game would almost be bad for us, even if it's playing against LSU and their abysmal defense. And the reason I say that it would be bad for us is because we might keep Gerard Parker around for another season. And, let's face it, we don't need more, teaching a coach on the job. We don't need more on the job training for an offensive coordinator. We've got a great defensive mind in our head coach. We've got a great defensive mind in our defensive coordinator. Yeah, okay, I understand. They couldn't count during the Ohio State game. Neither here nor there, right? Ultimately, we need an offensive coordinator who knows what the heck he's doing, and that's not Gerard Parker. Conversely to the running, throwing situation, can't throw every time we line up with 4 wide. We also can't run the ball every time we line up with 6 or 7 guys in the box. We've got 2 big tight ends that are still healthy. We've got Holden Stays and Eli Raridan. Both are still healthy. Both are great blockers. But that doesn't mean that we always run when we're in that formation, right? You've still got 2 wide receivers and a running back if you've got 7 guys, or if you've got 6 guys in the box. So why can't you throw? Plus, you got 2 tight ends that can get it done too. I also appear to have a helicopter sitting right above the house right at this very moment. Sorry about that if you're listening to that. Anyway, that is what it is, right? And we know Estime can catch, right? And we know our wide receivers can catch. So let's take advantage of that a little bit and not be so obvious in the play calling. Finally, Jaden Thomas and Mitch Evans are both notable players missing from the game. The Evans news isn't new, but they'll both be missing this game, especially with players like Deion Colsey out for the rest of the season. So what can the Irish do with this game? Honestly, what are we capable of? We could put up 40 points on this team. I absolutely think we can. We can put 40 points on this team and shut them out. The question is, will we? I don't think we do. I think we see a little bit more of the same of what we've seen against Duke and NC State and Clemson, where there's just no creativity in the play calling, and the offense just kind of like struggles to get it done. Ultimately, I think this game's still in our favor. My final score prediction: 34-10 Irish. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I can't look at this game with the way that things have been for the last few weeks and anticipate that anything's going to change. I hope some things will. Obviously, I want to see our players do well, especially on senior day, and go out there and get a win. So here's to it. Hope we get it done. Go Irish. Beat Duke. I love you all. God bless. Keep looking up. See you soon. I'll talk to you after the game.